Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to talk about football, gambling, and investing, and in particular a game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Indianapolis Colts. I think it's best for me to start this video off by stating that I am not a financial sports gambling advisor. I don't do that for a living. Or I guess they call these people handicappers, is another name for them. But like financial advisors, you'd also have to be careful on who they are, sort of like you would with handicappers. And I put in investing and gambling in there because to me there really doesn't seem to be much of a difference. If I look at the definition for investing or investment, it is the investing of money or capital in order to gain profitable returns as interest, income, or appreciation in value, which is really what the objective of gambling is: to invest, to give up money or capital in order to gain profits. And one might say, well, you might lose if you're gambling. You're playing a game of chance. Yet you will hear on many of these mainstream medias that put your money in stocks as an investor. Investors are doing this with the stocks of potash and so on. Yet many people are losing there. And then some might say, well, that's why you buy bonds as investment, because it's guaranteed whatever percent interest per year. Yet you're gambling on inflation, and that the inflation rate would be lower than that of interest. So in reality, all investments are that of gambling. And I came up with some interesting definitions on gambling. One, to play any game of chance for money or other stakes. Now let's look at this word chance, because if you're playing a game of cards where you're betting money that you will get a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8, or a 9 on a random card, and you're getting even money, well, the chances are 9 out of 13 times you are going to win. Another definition: to stake or risk money or anything of value on the outcome of something involving chance. Okay. Example: to gamble on a toss of the dice, because many times they take a look, the mainstream media, people in general look at gambling as this negative thing, and there can be problems from it. You can lose a lot of money. So yes, they got cases for it, but the same cases they have for gambling, they would have for stock market investing. And the final definition of gambling I want to go over is: gambling is the money or something of material value of an event with an uncertain outcome with the primary intent of winning additional money. Typically, the outcome of the wager is evident within a short period. Meaning, the outcome of this will be evident later on Sunday. And uncertainty, because that's what gambling is. It's all about uncertainty. But in reality, uncertainty means any percent that's not 0 or 100. If you are 99% certain on something, then it's not certain. And even if you think you're 100% or 0% certain something's going to happen, it doesn't mean you're right. You could be 100% certain that the dollar is going to survive the next few years, and I typically would guess you're not right. So now I'm going to move on to the game. I'm just going to check to see how much time I got left. I'm at 4 minutes, so I got some decent time. Kansas City is playing the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis, and the spread is 9 points for the Colts. And the play is on the Kansas City Chiefs. This spread has got old school numbers written all over it. It should be 3, maybe 3.5, and at that, I might like Kansas City getting 3.5 points. This Colts team is not as good as they used to be in previous years, as the Chiefs are not as bad as they were in previous years. In fact, Kansas City is the only undefeated team left in the NFL. And the defense that Indianapolis has, the run defense, quite frankly, it's not good. Bob Sanders out of the lineup, unable to come towards the box, and their injury list, their entire injury list in Indianapolis is piling up pretty big right now. And with Thomas Jones running the ball with Jamal Charles, I would have to say that the odds are approximately 65% that the Kansas City Chiefs will cover this spread. And throughout the year, whenever I have a 5-star play, and they don't happen often, I'll let you know what it happens to be. Only about 5 or 6 times in my life I've came into a game knowing I had about an 80% chance of winning. Those happen every 2-3 years. And then the odd time you'll get a game that would be a lock, like 90 some odd percent of winning. And the word lock in the sports community is highly, highly overused. Now, to finish this, I'm going to talk about the rest of the games in the Ontario Sports Lottery, because this is a wager here that has 5 different games. The payout is 100. Let me just put it up so I can see it on the screen now. And the way it works out is you got to hit all 5 of these games right in order to win. And I'm taking Buffalo, taking 3 against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's coming off a game where they played well against Indianapolis, and after the Jaguars played the Colts, I really looked to go against them, and we'll see how that one goes. I'm not too big on the week. I'm only playing 1 bet. Carolina's hosting Chicago. I'm laying 2.5 on the Carolina Panthers against an injury-riddled Jay Cutler and the Chicago Bears. I'm getting 9.5 on Kansas City. I've already talked about that. Cleveland taking 4.5 at home against Atlanta, and the spread of this game is way off. They have it at 3 in Vegas, which I think is way off, which is why I like Cleveland. And Cleveland's a choppy team. They got a lot of good talent, but they're not really putting it together. And finally, Monday Night Football, San Francisco hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. San Francisco favored by 3.5. My early predictions after week 1 was that Philadelphia would have injury problems and production problems at quarterback with Michael Vick in the lineup. That looks to be correct. And finally, this wager here is a pool wager, $5. The way this works is if you get every single game right, or if nobody gets, if everyone gets, a bunch of people get 1 game wrong, you will win a portion of the pool, which, if you get them all right, usually works out to 40, 60, 80,000 to 300,000. But the secret is to pick enough underdogs. And this would be one of the weeks I would take the Kansas City Chiefs at home to beat the Indianapolis Colts. I'm taking Buffalo over Jacksonville, Carolina over Chicago, KC over Indy, Cincy over Tampa, Green Bay over Washington, Detroit over St. Louis, Houston over the Giants, Baltimore over Denver, Cleveland over Atlanta, New Orleans over Arizona, Dallas over Tennessee, San Diego over Oakland, San Francisco over Philly, and Minnesota over the Jets on Monday night. So I talked about that San Francisco game being Monday night. It's actually Sunday night. And what I'm trying to do is even use the law of attraction to win this just once, because it's set up that if with 17 weeks a year, if you win this once in your lifetime, you're going to win. But the problem is, they say to attract riches or money into your life, you gotta love money, you gotta feel money coming in. And right now, I'm using the law of attraction, if anything, to end the money system, to end the slavery system. So that really brings a conflict. So the way I see it is, I'm not winning money. I'm winning other stuff like silver. I win money, I change it for silver. I change it for food. I change it for real assets. So that's pretty much how I got to look at it, because one of these days I feel confident that I can actually make profitable investments every single week, meaning I put down $5. My long-term odds of money coming back is $5.70. As far as this one, $5 paying at 20, the way you do the math on this is you get, well, 20 to 1 that is. You take 20 to the square root of 5, or the pi sign, whatever. It works out that you got to win 55% of the time. You can't mix it with college, and in BC you got to win like 58%, making it hard. But 55% isn't really all that hard to do, as far as impossible to do. Thank you for watching, and have yourself a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.